Hi guys, I'm Srinivas, Imandi, working for Nokia for close to now 25 years plus, and I am currently in the middle management layer where we have to deal with a lot of deliveries and the team management as such. It's good that you are trying to gather some info about the real-time industry, what is happening for your projects. Probably it will give you some inputs, is how I think. So maybe we can get started with what you want to ask for.
So you introduced yourself as a middle level manager. So we wanted to know what are the key skills that are required for your positions.
As a middle level manager, generally we have responsibilities towards realizing what the organization wants as well as what the team wants. Okay, so it's a layer where we have to interface with the team to deliver what is required for the organization. So the key skills that will be required, first point is, I am working in a telecom industry and software is the main area where we work in that. So naturally you should have some technical knowledge about what you are delivering, because you have to deliver something at the end of the business. So you should have the technical knowledge but may not be in depth. Second one is, how do you interact with the team and how can you be with the team to make sure they can contribute well for the goals that the organization has set, right? So that is the second skill, that is people management skills that would be required. The third one is, which is not the least of course, but you have to understand what is the organization goal, for what are you working for. So once you have the purpose clear, so that is something that you can get it done. So middle level managers should balance between these three things on how we can achieve. For example, when I say technical knowledge, in the software industry probably it is one kind of technical knowledge, but in manufacturing industry it could be something, but it is generally applicable, I would say. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So you have talked about the organizational goals and all that. So we just want to know, how does your organization set its goals and plans, and how would that impact you as a manager, and how you would try to work towards those goals to try and satisfy the company needs.
Okay, sure. So with respect to the goals that a company would have, for example, if you consider Nokia, it's primarily a telecom company. So it deals primarily with the mobile networks that are getting installed. For example, if you see the Airtel or Jio or any of these networks that you see, the backend infrastructure that is required, that is what we provide. Okay. So the goals of the company would be to, of course, get new customers in different regions of the world. Second one is to maintain that network as such. So you should have that relationship with that customer for very, very long time. Okay. And then evolve on the technology. Now, for example, if you see the mobile technology, it moved from 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and next is 6G. So the company has to evolve itself with respect to the technology and the new trends that are coming up in the industry as such. So that is the primary driver for how an organization will set its goal. In what business area are they working in? For example, Nokia works in telecom. Okay. Now let us say AWS, it works in pure software, but the infrastructure, data center business. So that is where they work. So depending on the business area that you're working on, for example, Apple is more concerned about their mobiles. So how do they grow in the mobile market is what they would be considered. So now let us say in the whole of the economics of the world, there will be some share for every industry to survive or thrive. So within that, how much of the share that each company wants to get in? Okay, so that defines the goals for the company as such. Okay, once the goals are set, that means then comes the strategy to achieve that goal. So that will be done by the senior management. Okay, then it passes on to the middle management on what is the strategy and how to get it done. Now, actual implementation planning will be done by the middle management and the lower management as such. So that is how the goals translate into the various managerial levels and actually to the team members, because finally it's all people who deliver it, right? And there are a lot of people who are working on the technical grounds to deliver something. So managers are primarily responsible to oversee the delivery, to assess the risks that may happen and how to mitigate them. Okay, and to make sure that we are reaching the goal on time. That really matters a lot as such. Okay, so we have to coordinate with multiple teams to achieve those goals. And primarily, the company sets its goals business on the business decisions that they want to take, primarily to how much market capture they want to have as such. That makes a difference. Yeah.
So the employee mental health is a very important aspect as well, right? So what techniques or approaches do you use to motivate employees?
Motivate the employees. Okay. See, when a person joins a company, when they are working as such, so they should be clear. One thing is, okay, now am I in the right role is something that each person has to evaluate for themselves. That's one thing which is very important, where each person has to do. But as a manager, you can provide different tools. For example, if a person wants to grow in their career path, let us say someone joined a technical role, but they wanted to move into sales after 4 or 5 years. So if you are really taking care of an employee's career rather than the day-to-day job, naturally they will be motivated because they know that at some point I'm going to go there and the manager who is there is going to support me. That is one part of it. Second part of it is, one is the responsibility of the motivation, external motivation is only X percentage, or I would say less than 50%. Most of the motivation comes from the employee itself. Because without the self-motivation, how much ever you may put, you never know how well the other person may get. So primarily self-motivation is one important thing that every person should have. They should understand why they are choosing that industry. Are they really going in the right path in their career? And assess what are the risks, whatever they are going to take, because nothing is certain. So managers can always come in, support them in achieving their goals. That is what is the motivating factor for them. Second one, of course, naturally, a lot of people would say even money is a motivating factor. But money is one of the motivating factors. I wouldn't say that money is the only motivating factor, because I've seen a lot of people who stay long in a particular industry. They grow in different levels, even though their peers in other companies may get higher salaries, but still they are happy with it. Okay. So what is the motivation factor for them to stay, or how they are growing, varies from each person to person. So the middle level managers, when they come into, that is where the actual team interaction really matters. One-on-one discussions with the person, understanding what they want to do, contributing on how they can grow. So you are really showing the genuine interest for the career of the other employee. That is what the motivation factors that can really influence an employee as such. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So as we know, Nokia might have many competitors as well. And this creates a sort of technical debt where you have to push out features regularly. So how do you balance that with your current dynamics that are in the organization, and how do you plan the next cycle of features that you're going to implement?
Okay. So technical debt is something that will always keep accumulating. I don't think there is a way to really complete the technical debt. That is never going to happen. Okay. So some of the things that we can do is, for example, when you are developing a new feature, as a part of that feature, clear out some of your technical debt itself. Like you try to include the effort that is required to clear the technical debt along with the new feature. That is something that we have to figure out. Second one is now dedicating the bandwidth for the technical debt. So now it comes to prioritization. So is that feature delivery more important than the technical debt is a question that should be really asked within the team, as well as with the product managers who are delivering some features to customers, who are committing to customers, right? So now that is something that we have to really decide whether we have to put a dedicated effort. Of course, the simplest solution is, you can get more people and clear the technical debt and ask them to continue. But that is not always possible. You can't get hiring approvals just so easily to get more people to clear what is required. So it is more of a balance, I would say. And since now with the AI tools that are coming in, there are a lot of ways we can clear out the technical debt. One is either you want to automate using the AI tools itself, making it do the work for you for all the technical debt that needs to be cleared, or you use the new AI tools to build the new features, because building new features with AI tools like Cursor and all of that is much easier than giving the existing code, making it understand and then building on top of it. So it is a balance, I would say. You have to use the technology, you have to use appropriate decision making techniques there by talking to various stakeholders for the delivery. So that makes the difference as such. So there is no one straightforward answer for it. Yeah.
So you work with a team, right? So you would have come across you would have come across different kinds of people with varying levels of ambitions. So how do you ensure that they collaborate to achieve the common goal of your team?
Okay. Yeah. So the baseline goal for the whole team remains constant. That is not going to change. Whatever the performance of a particular person is, that is never going to change. For example, if I am delivering a feature, now a person X may deliver that in 5 days, somebody may deliver within 10 days, somebody may take only 2 days. You never know. So it varies, the speed. And the ambitions also vary. Now a person may want to do more, but maybe he is not even delivering what is required. Or maybe a person wants to do more, but he is already delivering more than what is required for the project, but he is having enough bandwidth to do. So now it is a balance of what we can achieve. One is that, of course, we definitely have to assess how what is the capability of a person, how quickly he is able to mold to the system that is required, and deliver what is required first. Then comes, okay, now if he has the capability to deliver more, or if he wants to achieve more, now there will be always scope to contribute every other places. So it's not just one project that runs in the whole organization. Now if you want to contribute more, so there are always opportunities. So a person who is ambitious will be looking for opportunities where they can contribute. Okay? And a person who may not be ambitious but who is doing quickly, yeah, probably we may have to motivate them to see the opportunities, right? So then the person who is delivering what is required, there's nothing wrong with it, right? That's also good because they are doing their work. Now we have to tell them what else they can do and how they can improve so that they can deliver more. And that is when the conversations will help to understand the other person. Okay, now what do they want to achieve? How do they want to achieve? What are the timelines? So that is with respect to ambition. So there is always a gap because every person is different, the contributions are different. So naturally that is bound to happen.
So, sir, we as college students, let's say we want to get into the managerial roles and we want to become managers in the future. How important is it for us to pursue higher education in like MBA roles or something? Or would you rather feel that getting into a corporate world and learning through experience, is that more important, or is it better to do a degree like an MBA to become a better manager? What would you feel?
So what do you guys think about what is meant by management? You can answer that first.
So in general, we feel that management is when you have a big team to work with who are trying to achieve a common goal. And how would you as a person or a team leader try and collaborate with all the people in the team to try and achieve that common goal through proper communication and technical expertise as well, along with proper motivation to achieve that proper goal is what we feel management is about.
Okay. So in my view, what I would say is that, see, as college students, since you guys will be coming out into the industry now there are different ways in how you can look at management. One is pure senior level management where the vision is more important than the execution. Okay. Second one is, instead of vision, probably a person is good at defining a strategy on how to get the things done. There could be some of you who can really be very skilled at getting the things done. So one is vision Second one is strategy to achieve the vision. Third is actual execution of that. Okay. So there are three different layers in which you can always see the management as. So you should give yourself the time to assess what is that you want to get in. You should really know where do you want to get in, right? Then you will be able to define how do you want to go there. Now, for example, if a person is very good at execution, probably you should be very good at you should really understand what is meant by execution. That means you should really start by working with the teams as a developer, then grow as an architect, then move into managerial role where you know everything what a developer does. You get to know that, and then it will be probably easier, and in this time you can gain the skills on how to interact with people, understand various conflicts that may come with people and how to resolve them. So that all helps. That is one part. Second part is, now if you want to define a strategy or something like that. Now strategy is more about the business need and how to execute depending upon the circumstances of the business, right? So that requires probably some more knowledge than what you guys may come out of an engineering college. Maybe you should be exposed to something else where you get an exposure of various industries and how they work, and why is Apple successful and why is BlackBerry did not go well. Okay, so you should understand how things have moved and why are they like that. So for that probably there will be opportunities if you can take up some more education, probably after some work, or it depends upon the choice that you have. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so that is the other part of it. Now third one is when it comes to vision. As you work on strategies, see, every person has default inherent capabilities. Now for example, out of the 4 people who you are sitting here, there may be one person who is very clear in setting up, okay, this is what I have to achieve, but he may not know how to achieve it. Okay, but somebody is very good at execution. Yeah, I'll get it done. You should not worry. So it varies from each person to each person. So if you can identify where you are strong, then you can choose that kind of an education, formal education. That is one part. Informally, whenever you are working in a company and depending upon the goals that you have, you can always see how the companies are going. You'll have some mentors in every company that you get into. You will see them, then you will grow in that direction. So it is a choice at the current moment on how you want to take. It's not that, see, from the day one you cannot be a manager, because management is a different skill that you can't have on day one out of engineering college, but probably from a different college. Now for example, if you guys are working, if you study in IIMs or some other bigger universities which are primarily into management, probably you will be exposed to different projects and companies which work in that direction, and probably you will get started over there rather than the technical field and then get into the management. So the opportunities are plenty, but it is more about what you want that defines that as such, right? Yeah.
So in a team, not everyone will always agree with some vision, right? There may be like disagreements, and people don't always see it correctly. So how do you deal with these disagreements in a team?
Do you think the disagreements are good or bad?
So they're necessary as you see different opinions, and
Yeah,
it's necessary.
it's necessary, right? So there is nothing wrong in having disagreements, and conflicts are always fine. Now, how much willingness do we have to resolve a conflict is what really is very, very important. Because the goal of a project is fixed. Irrespective of whether you like it, do not like it, we have to deliver. And we have committed to it. So that commitments come first. Now, when you have to resolve the conflicts, now what is the impact of the conflict on the actual goal that needs to be delivered has to be really understood by the people. So for that, you have to sit with them, understand the perspectives that they have, individual perspectives. Then you have to come back, take a decision. Okay, now how do I make sure that we can align them? And then have another discussion probably with 2 people or 3 people who are having that disagreement, and make them understand what is the real goal we are making, and how is it that they are contributing, and how their perspectives are not really aligning, or they are aligning better, and why somebody else's is not aligning. So this requires a lot of interaction with the team members. It will not resolve by itself. It will never happen. But every person in the team, they have to grow in such a way that as you grow in your experience, you should try to resolve the conflicts within yourself. Because at the end of it, finally that resolution will happen. Whether you want it or not want it, some higher up will come and resolve it. They will say, no, we'll follow this approach. Somebody else may say that, no, I don't like it. Yeah, even if you don't like it, we are going to do. Is a kind of a decision somebody may make. But instead of that, a better approach is to really understand where the differences are, try to really align them according to the goals that we want. And that is where the people understand, okay, why I am compromising on my argument. Otherwise, they will always feel that, okay, no, somehow they have suppressed. But that is not the intent, right? Every person has a perspective, and it's better. Managers are there, primarily they have to respect the other employees that are there, their perspectives. And then, yeah, if it is not aligning, fine, it is okay. But we have to tell that clearly. We should not leave it out in limbo. So disagreements are always good, but it requires a lot of effort from the people who are having disagreement as well as the managers to resolve that. And the intent to getting it resolved is very, very important in everyone. Because if the people who are having disagreement, if they are not intending to resolve it, then whatever you may try and say, it will never get resolved. But there is one advantage in the corporate world is that there is a goal always fixed. So at least you know where to bring that disagreement to and how to resolve it. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So there might be multiple continuous sprints in your team, and so many features are about to get deployed. So how do you handle this stress and these deadlines which are there? How do you handle it, and how do you make sure your team also approaches it in a better way, and as things are delivered in the correct time?
What is meant by stress?
Stress as in your own personal stress, or you know that your team members, it's a hard project in your team, or they are not able to deliver on time, and this may extend over the expired period of the project. So how do you deal with that? And are these flexible in your organization, or yeah?
So there are two types of stress. One is good stress and a bad stress. So without that good stress, you will never deliver anything. Okay. So you should always have that good stress. Now, but in spite of that motivation to deliver the project on time and all of that, there are situations where you may have to delay something, or something is not going as per plan. That is always bound to happen. There is no option, right? Now, do we want to get stressed out at that point of time is a question that a manager should ask very clearly. Once you ask that question, there will be some clarity to say that, okay, now what is the advantage of getting stressed out? There is nothing. You have to solve the problem at any cost. So there will be either a delay, or you figure out a way on how you can solve it. So the problem is that if you are more stressed out personally, there is less chance of solving it better. Okay? But if you can take a step back, so taking a step back is very, very important thing that every developer or every manager, everyone has to do at that point at the time of stress. So once you are under stress, take a step back, understand what is happening there, discuss with the whole team about let us say a delay is happening and everyone is stressed out and customer is waiting for it. Okay. Now what are the options do we have? Like, can somebody else really pick up something and complete it on time, or somehow stretch for the next 1 week or so and then deliver it off? Or we convey it to the customer saying that yes, this is the delay, and have some discussion with them and have a new agreement. Let us say there will be a delay by another 1 week or 10 days or whatever it is. Have a clear discussion with the end user. That is the other part of it. So, stress is always going to be there in any project which is under tight timelines, and the point is how well we manage them with respect to planning at the start of the project. How can you plan well for the bandwidth that is there available? In spite of that, you will get surprises. Now suddenly a customer will say, no, I don't want this feature, I want this, now introduce it here. So now how do you negotiate it at that point of time so that the team doesn't get stressed out is one important thing. But in spite of that, if the customer is pushing, Now, getting an agreement with the team, yeah, we may have to work more or something like that. So now team has to agree onto it. So it's a balance that you have to figure out. Now, once the team is stressed, I wouldn't say stressed out, but they're stretched, for example. Now, they should really understand, yeah, why are we really stretching out? What is the real benefit we are getting as a team? And why is the organization asking us to stretch? What is the need there? So there will be multiple factors that will be involved there. Now, in this process, somebody will be able to take that stress, somebody may not be able to take that stress, but that's an individual's, I would say, on how they react to stress. But stress is going to be there. It is more about how we mold ourselves to handle that stress, and the responsibility is with the team members, managers, customers, how you negotiate between them. So you have to figure out approaches on how to minimize it as such. So once you are very sure about the well-being of your team, naturally you will find ways to figure it out. But that intent and how strong you have, the manager can solve those things much better.
Sir, thank you so much for accepting our invite. It was really insightful listening to your points, and I'm sure we all learned a lot about what it takes to be a good manager. And thank you so much, sir.
All the best to all of you. Okay. Yeah, cheers.